I'm going to write a grant proposal in real time using AI, but most videos showing you how to write grants with AI are missing something new, and it's critical that you know about it. This new thing is a question that more and more funders are now asking in their proposals. Did you use AI to write this application? How you answer it could determine whether your proposal gets funded or quietly disqualified. If you're new here, welcome to Grant Chatter. I'm Tiffany, and I teach you how to think strategically about grants, not just how to fill out forms. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build the best prompt for grants, use AI live on screen, show you exactly where AI helps, show you where AI hurts, and we'll answer that AI disclosure question honestly and strategically. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use AI without sounding like a bot and without risking a relationship with a funder. Essential information to build the prompt. My least favorite part of the grant proposal process is staring at a blank page. Fortunately, we all have a lot of initial information already at hand that can start filling in those blanks and build a strong grant proposal. That initial information is who we are. It's our who, where, what, why, when, and how. So let's take a minute to meet two fictional applicants, a nonprofit and a small business, and see that initial information, and then how that works to build AI prompts that pulled the strongest response from the AI result. And even though they are fictional, they are both addressing the hottest real thing in grant funding right now, workforce development. And I have written and won real grants for this exact topic. Our fictional nonprofit is in Atlanta, Georgia. It provides an after-school program and paid internships that result in IT certifications. This is geared for youth who live in parts of the city that have the highest rates of unemployment. I did a little online research to give our fictional nonprofit a pretend service area that will give us more precise data from AI when we run the full prompt later in the video. They're writing a $150,000 grant proposal to a private foundation that focuses on the Atlanta region and wants to support economic mobility. Our fictional small business is in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is an agribusiness company with 12 employees and wants to upskill 5 of them through training, certifications, or leadership development. My research indicated that popcorn is one of the top specialty crops produced in Indiana, so we'll use that for our example. They are seeking a $75,000 grant from the state's Department of Workforce Development. So now we have the essentials of each organization that will help build a good AI prompt. Next, we'll plug them into a formula that I use successfully on a regular basis, even though one part of my formula might be considered controversial. My formula for AI prompts. After spending a couple of years working with AI, I have learned that there are 3 things I need in every prompt for grant writing, but I will start with the one that none of us should ever use. First and foremost, never use anybody's personal information in an AI prompt. I know some grant writers who don't even put the name of their organization into their AI prompts. They just put something generic in its place, like organization or company. Whatever you choose in that vein is fine, but do not violate personal information laws and ethics. Now, let's build a strong, effective, and legal prompt using my formula. People who teach about AI sometimes talk about building a role into the prompt. For grants, it might be, imagine you are a skeptical grant officer at a private foundation. To me, that leaves too much open for AI to interpret on its own. That means more time for me to correct the responses I get back. So here's the controversial part of my formula. I take the opposite approach to the role. I describe who I am. Then I bring in all the information from step 1, the who, what, when, where, how, and why. Do you think that this is controversial? Let me know in the comments. Now AI understands who I am, it's time to explain the task at hand. I have a question to answer, but grant funders very often have limits on the words or even characters that I can use in the answer. So I will add the question and the limitations to the prompt. That gives me an answer to fit the limitations instead of editing down several pages of an AI response. I'm talking to you, ChatGPT. You can get pretty, chatty. One thing I appreciate the most about AI is that I can feed in a lot of miscellaneous details to inform the answer. I might have information from senior leadership about goals. I might have data about people being served, but not their personal information. I might have project details from program directors, and I might have general data from the community that informs how we built the programs in the first place. I used to take hours, even days, to review and convert all that complicated information into a single answer. Now I add it to the AI prompt. I'll show you in this video where there are benefits and pitfalls in the answer that comes back from a prompt that is really long like this. But I'll show you how to pitch the bad and keep the good. Now let's use the formula to get the most out of AI without getting disqualified by funders. From loose notes to grant proposal. Here are the top 5 questions that appear in some form in almost every grant proposal, whether you're writing for a nonprofit or a small business. Describe the problem. Describe your solution. List your measurable outcomes. Describe your organizational capacity, meaning your ability to manage this program and this grant. And budget narrative, which is a detailed breakdown of your costs. And here's the new question that can make or break your proposal. Did your organization use AI tools in preparing this application? If yes, describe how. For the nonprofit, we will build a prompt to answer question 1. For the small business, question 3. And then we will answer the new AI disclosure question for both. Let's recall our fictional nonprofit in Atlanta, the after-school program to help young people receive IT certifications. Question 1 asks us to describe the problem. Let's apply the formula. For the role, I'm going to explain that I'm with a nonprofit, what we do, and exactly where our services are provided. For the task, here I explain I am writing a grant proposal, enter the question, and the limitation for the answer, which in this example is 400 words. Details, here's where I add the miscellaneous information. But in this example, I'm missing updated information about technology sector employment in the Atlanta area, so I will ask AI to do a little updated research for me. I'm going to indicate that we serve 40 youth in these 2 zip codes. I'm going to ask AI that, based on this data, how many more youth need our services in these zip codes, and then all of that gets built into the answer. Now on to the small business example, the agribusiness in Indianapolis, Indiana that wants to upskill 5 of its 12 employees through a grant from the state's Department of Workforce Development. Role, once again we explain who we are. Maybe this time you're the owner of the company. Task, we repeat the task of writing a grant proposal, answering question 3 about measurable outcomes. This time the answer is limited to 1,000 characters, including the spaces between words, which is a very common style of limitation in grant proposals. Details, 4 of the 5 employees are new to agriculture, so they will receive a certification in plant production from a university in the state. The 5th will study agricultural business so that the small company can start planning for international trade of its popcorn product. Remember that we don't want our grant to read like it was written by a bot. We need to make sure that our human voice prevails in the tone of our grant proposal. And what does that mean? Let's take a look at the answers from AI and begin the human editing process. Human edits to fix AI grant writing. We're at ChatGPT, which is so popular right now, though future videos I will do comparisons between different AI models to see which ones write the best. So let's take the Atlanta nonprofit, and that entire prompt, I have copied it from our development earlier in the video, and now here let's put this in. And as of course is true, there will be a quick response back under 400 words as we asked. And there are things that, that's pushing 400 words, isn't it? In the length. Now, the links here, I appreciate that the date is there because sometimes these things can be a bit old. So February 2026 is very current to the time I post this video. What about this one? March 20, even more current. Tech Bridge 25, still current. 25. Now here is late 2024, could still be useful with some information, but is the data the most recent? And that's up to you to decide as the applicant. So one of the things that are always going to be in a ChatGPT response, you're probably familiar with these big dashes. They're called the M dash. And there's an M dash, and there's an M dash. And that is a big tell for AI produced content. So you'll want to rewrite that to take those M dashes out. That's simple. Also, do you say the things that are being said here? Is this the way you say it? So the first sentence, Atlanta's technology sector is rapidly expanding, creating significant opportunity, but also widening inequities for low-income youth. That's not inaccurate given what this fictional organization does, but is that how you would say it? Go ahead and rephrase it in a different way, or you can ask ChatGPT to say it in a different way without the M dash. You can do that. And so there are some data points here. Great. Taken from this current information. Great. And because if you recall, I needed updated information, so it gave it to me, and that's great. And so there are some information points here and there. I will tell you, after you've gone through here and say, this is a little different than I would say it, or maybe this is a little too clean or sanitized, or other ways to describe that there's something lacking here, and put that back in for you. I will say I almost always, if not always, delete the last paragraph. It's a bit of a summary statement, and it's just, to me, a bit of fluff. And especially when you have these limits in space, maybe you could put a sentence in there. Maybe you can put something from one of your participants that is a nice quote that proves the utility of this. So this one says, without targeted interventions that provide technical training, certifications, paid work, these youth will remain excluded. Okay, well, we know that. That's why we're writing the proposal. So for me, that paragraph would get deleted, and I would put in another sentence or leave it as it is. And this last data point here, and over 95% of eligible youth in these communities remain unserved. That's a great, because this was the question on describe the problem. The problem is there's not enough resources for these kids. Here we are, give us money to expand. That's a statement there that I think would help provide some power in your proposal. So we're going to start a new chat, and we're going to do the Indianapolis agribusiness prompt. And I'm looking off to the side here to pull it from a notepad, and copy and paste. And I will tell you, I said notepad because I write these things off the chat box. I don't compose in the chat box, because I have 5 thoughts going through my head about what I want to say. So I'll go put it in something else and then just copy and paste. That's just a personal practice item for me. So what do we have for this popcorn agribusiness in Indianapolis? It didn't give me the character count, but I can ask it to do that if I need to. 5 employees will complete structured upskilling. 4 will, which we said there. So it's repeating and putting in a perhaps cleaner sentence form than we had it. Outcomes, because this was the question on outcomes, include at least a 15% increase in crop yield per acre, a 10% reduction in input waste. Now, that was ChatGPT probably providing some standard outcomes for programs like this. Is that what you're going to do? Are you going to get a 15% increase in crop yield? Are you going to get a 5% increase? Are you going to get a 25% increase? So make sure those numbers line up with what you are looking to do, because ChatGPT will just toss it in there. And AI in general will toss it in there, because I said, give me some standard outcomes. I didn't feed it any information saying we want to go to this point. I just offered the generic and it gave it to me. The 5th employee will complete agricultural business coursework focused on. Outcomes include development of a formal international trade plan, identification of three viable export markets, and an establishment of 1 new distribution partnership. Those are good outcomes for that process. Make sure it's real for you. What are your outcomes? Collectively, these reports, okay, and here's the last paragraph that you can use or take out. These efforts will improve operational efficiency, expand market access. See, there's nothing measurable in there. I can't go back to that and say, see, I met the goal. Expand market access. Well, what does that mean? where the last paragraph, at least we did have some specifics. So this is where chat is good at organizing all that stuff, but there is a ways to go on getting it finished. But it's great to help with the structure. It's great to help with at least the thinking process and the organization of information. For me, it's just good to see it in a clean form like this, and then I can take it from there. Avoid the trap, the AI disclosure question. It is critical to understand why grant funders are now asking about AI use in grant proposals. Sadly, the primary reason is that they're being flooded with grant proposals that they and I would call AI slop. Here is an example. The National Institutes of Health published a statement about the use of AI in grant proposals. In one season of grants, they were getting dozens of proposals from a single applicant. Friends, these proposals are highly complex, and a single proposal can take months to complete. So it's clear that AI was used to fabricate way too many proposals. And here it says that AI can result in plagiarism, fabricated citations, or other kinds of research misconduct. What they're saying is that they're seeing AI slop. And plagiarism is worse than that, since it is stealing other people's work. This problem is not limited to the NIH. Here is why this new question matters. Government agencies and private funders are concerned about the higher number and lower quality of grant proposals they are all receiving. They have developed multiple responses to the issue. Some are training reviewers to recognize AI patterns. Some are reserving the right to reject AI-heavy applications outright. And then some are simply gathering transparency data. For now, your job is not to guess their intent. Your job is to protect your credibility and your relationship with the funder. As a reminder, here is the new question. Did you use AI to write this grant proposal? If so, how? Here are 3 wrong answers. Wrong answer number 1, selecting no when you actually used AI. If that reviewer was trained in recognizing AI patterns, your proposal could be in trouble. Wrong answer number 2, selecting yes with the detail of AI wrote the proposal. The list of concerns I just mentioned, especially those that reject AI-heavy applications, will make this answer obviously wrong. Wrong answer number 3, you answer yes with a vague disclosure, AI assisted with writing. Vague language creates suspicion. AI assisted by how much? In a tight competition for grant funds, this doesn't move your proposal higher on the list for funding. Certainly in this video, I have made heavy use of AI to help synthesize a lot of information into a clear answer to a grant proposal. Then you watched me rewrite the answers in real time. So this is the answer that I would submit if these were real grants. Generative AI was used to synthesize internal and external data and outline key arguments. No AI-generated text was submitted without significant human review, fact-checking, and editing. This statement shows that technology is used, but you, the human, are still in control. Have you seen this question in the grant proposal you have written? Let me know in the comments below. Would you like to keep practicing writing AI prompts? I share even more of my strategies, tips, and examples in this video. Or watch this video next, where I share the tips and tricks of success with grants that took me years to learn, but you'll have them in just minutes. Choose which Grant Chatter video you want to watch next, and I'll see you there.